Often viewed as a plague in the gaming industry, loot boxes have a very rough past in this space. So it's pretty safe to say gamers around the world are fed up with loot boxes. Find out why up next. What up guys, this is Kalo. I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. So in today's video, I kind of wanted to dive deeper into loot boxes and find out if they're really helping or hurting the gaming industry. Spoiler alert, they ain't. So where should our journey start? Let's go to the big fish here and talk about sports games. Popular sports game franchises like Madden and NBA 2K, along with many others, ritually integrate a form of loot boxes into their games, with Ultimate Team being the prime example. That integration of loot boxes in Madden might be facing a bit of a shift here when it comes to how EA and Madden handle the subject matter moving forward. I did a video a while back going over the history of Madden, and during that video I reported that in its annual report for 2020, EA confirmed that Ultimate Team alone made more than $1.62 billion. Another side of the coin here is Take-Two Interactive's Strauss Zelnick, when he stated, "The mechanic is responsible for less than 3% of our net booking in our past fiscal year, so it's not material to us." And of course, bringing the numbers like I always do to you guys, Take-Two reported $3.373 billion in revenue, and 3% of that would be $100 million. Now, with the release of Madden 23, popular Madden influencers went on what they called a pack strike, until EA fixes the Ultimate Team game mode. Now, what is a pack strike? Well, basically this boils down to the popular influencers, who are normally what they call the whales in the game, who dump a large sum of money into these modes, flat out stop buying the in-game currency to voice their frustrations with Madden. As the years go on, it seems as if companies outside the typical FIFA and Madden bubble are slowly realizing that loot box magic can't really be replicated, and are starting to drive more away from that business tactic. And in a weird turn of events, people were so outraged about the usage of loot boxing games that 15 US child advocacy groups have asked the FTC to investigate EA over their usage of loot boxes, citing FIFA engages in unfair and deceptive practices. The group went on to claim that loot boxes foster predatory behaviors and addiction, exploiting children and teens for profit, thus exploiting the younger generation to gambling. Charlie Fortesky, who is a spokesperson for EA, refuted those claims, stating, "We design our games to offer choice, fun, fairness, and value for our players. In all our games, including FIFA, spending is always optional, and most players choose not to spend at all." But the heat on EA didn't stop there. In 2020, EA was fined around 10 million euros over loot boxes in Dutch courts. And in that same year, a class action lawsuit was raised against EA, claiming that Ultimate Team is just gambling with a few extra bells and whistles. So as the years goes on, it seems as if there are more and more eyes on loot boxes in the gaming industry. Most people are also coming to the conclusion that it is a type of gambling and should be regulated as such. But the courts have stated that the industry should just self-regulate. But an even more surprising move, and it's something that I had no clue was an actual thing, but in some countries like Belgium and the Netherlands, loot boxes are flat out banned when a game releases in that country. But let's not rush to the finish here, because I myself have fallen victim to loot boxes. It's honestly a cool experience to open up a pack or whatever in-game thing there is, and to see that you scored a high-end player or cosmetic item. Now, the interesting take I always come across normally is that gamers are okay with loot boxes or stuff along these lines in games as long as they're free to play. That reason being, there is no overhead cost of $60 initially to buy into the game. Then you're met with endless screens and pop-ups saying, "Buy this pack now." Now, an admittedly sneaky tactic being used in Diablo Immortal, which is a free-to-play game, but is very much pay-to-win in some cases. So how does loot boxes factor into this? Well, the game adds randomized drops behind dungeons in the game, and you can use your in-game currency to buy more rolls and gems at the end of those dungeons. So what they're basically claiming here is you're paying for the level, not the loot at the end of the level. This right here is one of the many sneaky tactics I can see being used moving forward, if more strict regulations or even more class action lawsuits are dropped on companies like EA or Take-Two. So it seems as if loot boxes nowadays are more of an ethical debate with your favorite developers. So I have a question for you guys. Would you rather see more game companies move towards what Fortnite and Halo are doing and incorporate a battle pass more than loot boxes? For me, I just like knowing what I could possibly get, and at that point it's up to me to grind out the battle pass to get the big shiny object or skin at the end of it. Plus, I'll be saying this over and over again. Halo is doing the battle pass system right. You buy it up front, then it's yours forever. So if you get tired of the grind and you want to put the game down and revisit it at another point, even if the newest season drops, you can still earn its rewards. That being said, I've become more selective with battle passes in games like Fortnite due to the short time window with the battle pass it takes place in, and I just don't have it in me to grind out a whole battle pass. But that about does it here for all things loot boxes. I've been Kalo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel and please drop a like on the video. I'll see you guys next time.